Hi, everybody. I got myself here, Ken Berger, and to my right, I've got
Josh Cruz. Hello.
The effervescent voice. And on my left, we've got joining us today is Shawn London.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Did have a question. I like backpacks. Do you like backpacks? Do you have a cool gear? Do you have a cool gig bag? Is pretty much
my backpack.
It's a backpack. It's not like you don't have.
No, man. I'm not that guy that carries around a front of house
you don't
Pelican.
Have that?
Don't you wear a fanny pack?
No, I use a. It's actually a camera backpack, but I put audio stuff in it. We'll do a segment.
Do they do a Halliburton backpack?
What's a Halliburton? Is that like something that's beyond my era again?
No.
You know what Halliburton case is?
Yeah.
I don't. What is it? Tell me.
No, but about that time is when everybody was carrying those Pelican. Like the front of house guys.
Did that?
No, because that's what a system tech would have. But a front of house guy is just, he has this iPod. Yeah.
Yeah, and your big gulp walking in.
Me, I'm a backpack, throw my laptop in there, and my switch and headphones, and there you go.
That's it. Very minimal. That's cool.
Yeah. And how many ask me how many pairs of headphones I've left behind at shows?
Oh no.
I give up.
Oh, what's your favorite pair of headphones?
The DL series Sony 250 maybe, I think, or 70s. The red ones, those studio ones.
Those ones Mike likes to use.
Yeah, I like those. Those are great for mixing with.
No, you never used near fields when you.
I have a couple times on festivals.
Yeah.
Festivals, you almost have to because you can't have the PA going while you're line checking your band. So it's always great to have near field so you can get reference. So you can start off at least pretty close to where the mix should be.
Right.
Festivals were tough. One thing, it's a whole different kind of mixing. Venues, you got plenty of time to sound check, and it's, your PA's right in front of you. You can hear every little detail.
So you've done a lot of festivals, then, right?
Yeah, I've done more festivals, I think, than I have regular shows.
Do you wear ear protection when you're doing these, or you just?
No. I'm at, I'm 100 foot. 150 foot back sometimes away from the PA.
Right.
So, I'm feeling sub and I'm hearing the vocals. I'm good.
Yeah, because I can never mix with earplugs. Because then you take them in and out. It's some dramatic change happens.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it also depends on what kind of earplugs you're using.
This is true. I always have cigarette butts. You ever use a cigarette butt to earplug it?
No.
Come on.
I
know that. You guys don't?
You don't have molds with precision attenuators in it?
No.
I used to, but I lose them. Just like headphones, I lose them. I can't. A pair of sunglasses I'll lose.
Right.
But that's
Do you ever test yourself from your extensive touring and?
Yeah, believe it or not, I still have some pretty decent hearing.
Nice.
Yeah.
You don't have tinnitus or?
No.
You don't have the constant.
Most of my colleagues do.
Wow.
They're all deaf, and that's why they mix so damn loud. But I'm actually, I've always said I've had little compressors in my ears.
Well, you kind of do, don't
you? I just know how to use them.
You could turn them on.
All right.
But, they say, and I don't want to claim to be an expert, but they say that it's more length of exposure than it is actually absolute SPL that creates.
Right.
But you would be doing festivals, so you're.
Festivals, they're loud, but they're not as loud. They're loud. You can get more deep SPL coming from a small House of Blues type of stage than you would.
Yeah, smaller clubs tend, you're closer.
Worse.
They have too much PA per people. Clubs usually are more than anything else.
Right.
If it's a decent club. Or overbuilt club.
I'm just going off of the experience of the shows I've been to with View, and it's pretty damn loud.
Yeah, because we have some pretty loud boxes, and our engineers take advantage of that.
Yeah. So, there's the old phenomenon that, and I'm sure you've heard people talk about this, where if the older you are, and the more limited PA that existed in that era. Most guys mixed till they, brought it up till they heard some level of distortion, and they back off from that. And that was kind of your check on your SPL.
Right.
And as the industry grew and the sophistication of sound systems increased, the PAs got really loud before they'd start clipping. There was these guys who would play it that loud. because that's how they knew how loud it was. As they brought it up till they heard the PA breaking up, they backed off from that. And as the PAs got bigger and bigger, shows got louder and louder.
And I was that guy when I first started. I mixed really, really loud. I mean, too loud sometimes. And as I got older and more experienced and knew what kind of boxes were doing what, you can get a great output by, going halfway, and with proper EQ and compression and gain structure. You don't have to. You're not pushing. Your meters will be, -5. Or even fluctuating between 0 and it still sounds just as loud as it would if you were pushing the gains up pretty hard.
Plus, there's always that fader creep. Is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Well, there's fader creep, but there's also power compression.
Right.
So I mean, if you're pushing the PA hard, you have to drive it harder later in the show to get the same level that you started at.
Absolutely.
If you're up against the power. And the other thing is, PAs. I don't care whose it is or what it is. If you're running them with 20 dB of headroom, they're going to sound so much more open and better than if you've got it right up against, squishing up against,
Absolutely.
It's running out of gas. And again, modern PAs, you can do things that just weren't practical 20 years ago.
Yeah, and a lot of people mix. I mean, I've always learned to mix. Mine's 0. Everything's at 0. So all of my faders are at infinity. And I like to just use the gain pod to get where that sound and that dynamic is coming out the best with me at 0 on the console fader. That works for me, and everything sounds right where it's supposed to be. It's in the pocket.
Well, that's also, I would assume, only works really well when you've got a band that most of their stuff is the same. When they're doing, we get these bands that go from playing full-on electric to an acoustic song,
right?
Then that kind
of but then that's what I use my DCAs to, give you that extra boost. But I always use DCAs or subgroups.
So much I need to learn.